The world as we know it has changed forever by COVID-19. Some of these changes have certainly been unwelcomed, and we're looking at social gathering limitations. It's kind of hit the wedding world a little bit. But other changes like grocery delivery and carry-out cocktails from our favorite restaurants we're on board with. Another change we can get on board with is the changes that we're going to see in wedding registries. We're joined today by Emily Forrest, the Director of Communication at Zola, to talk to us a little bit about what's happening in wedding registries in the midst of the coronavirus.
Emily was married a few years ago and has been at Zola for 4 years. She is equally an expert on all things weddings and COVID-19. She has also been leading Zola's COVID-19 response efforts. Emily, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're changing it up, right? We're all at home. We got
We're not in our fancy pop-up studio.
I know. We were just before, for our listeners, we were just talking about, like the sounds that are happening at home that we have to kind of adjust to in this world.
If you hear a two-year-old scream or a dog barking, don't worry.
If you hear my 1-year-old in the other room, I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. This is life now, guys. We're all used to it. We're all just flowing with it, right?
That's right.
The good thing that comes out of this is that I feel like we're all going to be a little more go with the flow, right? We have to.
I'm feeling much more go with the flow today than ever before. So
before we dive in, Emily, tell us, what are some of the big things that you're seeing as far as registries go? I feel like with weddings changing and, so many different things are going to be affected, but I think some things are good. People are cooking at home more. And so tell us a little bit about, the good that's going to come from this.
Sure. So, first, I just want to tell 30 seconds on Zola. So at Zola, we do everything to make wedding planning feel super easy and super special. So we're a one-stop site for everything you need. So we do free wedding websites, matching wedding paper, so invitations, save the date, thank you cards. We also have a dream registry, so you can register for over 1,000 brands of gifts, experiences, and also cash funds, all on Zola. So I think we have seen so much craziness during this time. I think one thing that's actually nice is that registry is maybe one of those parts of wedding planning that will stay the most consistent. And actually, I think that couples might be even more in tune with what they need to register for now because they're actually at home and they're actually using everything that they would want in their home, right? So I think, for me, I have stared at many in my home now and thought wow, I need more artwork, or, oh, I actually need a new Hulu subscription because I need to continue binge watching after this pandemic is hopefully over soon.
Yes.
So, I need better cookware. I need a new cast iron skillet. So I think that couples will actually know what they want even more than ever before.
Yeah, the cast iron skillet. So just to totally go off topic here, that's usually Ryan's thing. Yeah. But I follow Chrissy Teigen on Instagram, and she was making this pizza out of a cast iron and a cast iron skillet, and it's like an oven. Yeah, did you see this? It looked amazing.
I did not see that, but I know you can do that, and I feel like you can cook literally everything in a cast iron skillet.
Yes, this is something we don't have, and we've been married for a while, so maybe for our anniversary, this is going to be the gift to ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Anniversary gift.
That's great. Okay, cool. So virtual gift giving. So, weddings, wedding showers, things like that are turning into virtual events, as are, podcast recordings. So how does that affect gift giving and registries in general, in your opinion?
Yeah, so we actually did a poll in our Facebook community yesterday and saw that, so many couples are either planning to have a virtual shower or a virtual wedding, or they're considering it. So they haven't decided yet, but they're thinking about it as this kind of continues to go on and on. One thing we've also seen is that guests really just want to give gifts no matter what the situation is. So I think that's really nice. I definitely think when you're creating your registry, one thing to think about now more than ever before is to make sure that your guests have enough options to choose from and also as many price points to choose from as possible, just because people are in such different situations than ever before, financially, and then they might want to send you something then they might not normally have wanted to send you. But I definitely think that we're seeing, even if you decide to have a virtual shower, if you decide to just delay or completely postpone, all of your events, guests still want to send you something. We also know that guests even want to send you something if they can't make it. Yeah. So if you have to downsize your wedding, most guests have still told us that they still want to send you a gift, which is really nice.
Yeah.
So one thing, like, you got a little bit off topic here, which is kind of what I do. As far as like registries, like first off, that was one of the most fun things about planning our wedding years ago. But I know that a lot of people sometimes feel uncomfortable adding items, and like you said, add as many options as you can, which I couldn't agree with more, because then people can buy something that's meaningful, not just an item that's on a list. How do you recommend to couples that, it's okay to add stuff here? It's not you being like, "Ooh, give me a gift."
Yeah. So we do have a page in your dashboard when you sign up for Zola, and we'll recommend how many gifts you should give. And you go through this whole onboarding process where we'll ask you, how many people are you having at your events? Also, do you want to register for just gifts, like physical gifts, or also do you want to add cash funds? And so we'll kind of make a recommendation based on those wants that you have. But generally, I tell couples that nobody's going to really like judge your registry, right? Like nobody's going to open your registry and be like, oh my God, I cannot believe that they registered for that like $300 stand mixer. Right. Not really going to happen. What they are going to do is they probably are going to like maybe have a price in mind already when they come to your registry. And so they're going to want to maybe sort by price or sort by category. But they're not going to be like, I cannot believe that Emily and David registered for 200 gifts. Like nobody is going to say that. That's not a thing.
It's good to hear.
It is good to hear.
It just, people get nervous.
I totally understand that. We also have group gifting on our site. So like if you do want to register for like, a new couch and it's like $800, you could like just ask for contributions towards that couch if you feel like uncomfortable. Because
That's
that's
awesome.
cool.
That's
I
really
love that.
Yeah, because sometimes you go to a wedding and you don't, maybe all the smaller things or whatever your budget items are already gone. So being able to contribute, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's a cool way to get big ticket items, which is great probably if people are already living together and already have a lot of those kind of essentials.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So at showers, a lot of times the main event is gift opening. Mm-hmm. So how do you anticipate, or how do you feel like that's being affected?
That's a great question. So I personally had like an alternative wedding shower. I did not open gifts at my shower, and I had my shower at a wine bar.
That's the kind of wedding shower I want to come to.
Putting gifts in front of people like made me personally feel a little uncomfortable, but so I think that if you really want to open gifts at your shower now, I think you can still do that. I definitely would be cognizant of not like having silence back on your Zoom, so maybe like you could turn it into a bingo game. For example, you could like send your guests like all bingo cards beforehand. I did this in person at one of my friend's showers and it was really fun. And then like as you're opening the gifts, it's not like people just staring at you, they're like participating. I think another idea is like more of a virtual shower. So maybe you could, or a display shower. So you could open all of your gifts in advance and just kind of like thank your guests on camera.
Yeah.
Cute. I like both of those ideas. I think that's a really great alternative.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
So I'm really into the wine bar thing.
Yeah. Okay. One day.
So how are the type of gifts being given for a virtual event different?
Yeah, I mean, so I don't necessarily think the types of gifts are that different because, like I said, I think people are still going to be registering for everything that they want. I definitely think that one trend we might see is like people trying to register for more charitable cash funds, as well as like maybe giving back to local businesses. So maybe, like creating your own cash fund on Zola for a restaurant that you really love in your neighborhood. I think that we might start to see more of that. But generally, I definitely feel like for showers, especially even more so than weddings, people do want to still give you those traditional gifts, and they want to see them in your home. So, I think one thing also that will change is just the shipping. So, on Zola, you can just ship it directly to yourself. You're obviously not going to ship yourself a gift and then bring it to a party. So that's something that will also change.
Be going straight to them. That's really cool about the idea of the charity fund for local restaurants and small businesses that you can support. I love that idea.
Yeah.
What are some other like hot alternatives to traditional gifts for a registry that you think are going to come out of this?
Hot alternatives. One thing I think a lot about is puppies. For some reason, all of my friends are like adopting puppies right now, right? When they're in quarantine, I feel like like all these shelters are empty, which is so amazing.
That's
So amazing.
It's so amazing. And, you know, we actually have a whole category for pets. So I definitely think we'll see that start to ramp up is like gifts for your pets.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Also including your pets in your virtual ceremony, I think will be really fun. You know, and then I definitely think like at home experiences. So for example, you can register for Blue Apron, you can register for a Wink wine subscription. So maybe you can have your own wine bar at home, Ryan.
Nope.
Like a date
Fun.
night. Yeah.
Still register, right? We're married.
Definitely still have, you know, an anniversary, a date night. Yeah, so I think that we'll just start to see the experiences people having at home trickle into their registries.
So a little tougher one for you. So what do you think is going to happen with the older guests that traditionally go to a store and purchase, you know, their registry items?
Yeah. I mean, I think that we have been seeing just like gift giving generally go online more and more and more. And this is definitely going to kind of force that to happen all at one time. So I think, you know, one thing that we really pride ourselves on is our customer service. So I think we're probably one of the only websites where like we actually continue to make our phone number bigger and bigger and bigger on our site. Like making it really hard to find because like we want you to call us.
Yeah.
So, you know, I definitely think that older guests, you know, will be able to give a gift. Another thing I've been thinking a lot about is like, how are your, you know, if your guests are not as tech savvy, maybe you want to like assign a person in your life to do like a dry run of a virtual shower or virtual wedding with them so that you're not like panicking that your grandma can't get on the Zoom.
It's so true. I think it's definitely interesting because I said on a past episode, like even our grandparents are now like able to like get on Zoom. Whereas I feel like 2 months ago, like FaceTime was too much, right? You know? So the fact that Zoom and these things have become more of a regular occurrence makes it a little bit easier.
True. And I mean, especially the older guests are going to want to give you something.
Yeah, I think so.
Right. They're still going to want to give you like the bakeware, the cookware, and I think that's like wonderful. And as long as they can figure out how to enjoy your event with you, it's all good.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so let's talk about all the hot new items.
Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously more people are at home now, which has led to a lot of experimenting with cooking and baking. So what are some of the things that you're seeing that are most popular in the registry now?
Mm-hmm. So I think one thing we're seeing is like a lot of the attachments. So maybe people have bought themselves a KitchenAid mixer and now they're ordering all the attachments. So they're like,
I've got my eye on the, we already have the pasta maker. I've got my eye on, there's a meat grinder, right? Like I'm like,
there's a meat attachment.
I need that.
Okay.
Need.
It's changed.
I am into it. You can make me some like meat stuffed ravioli. You can get the pasta attachment. Make some meat.
Now we're talking.
Exactly. Wine. Yeah, guys.
I'm
getting hungry.
Yeah, so I think that's one thing. What else? I think that people are actually ordering a lot of goods to display their baked goods. So for example, like a resurgence of cake domes, you know, and
goods.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going too fast.
Actually, in college, my mom had sent me this like wire frame to put cupcakes on, and I threw it away. And now with my son's first birthday coming up, that's like all I want, right? Is like a place to display his first birthday cupcakes.
Of course.
So pro tip for that, we're way off track here. Pro tip, get one of those giant like balloons we got Minnie Mouse, but Minnie Mouse, Mickey Mouse, the kids love it. It's like it's better than any gift.
Yeah.
Minnie stayed with us for like a month and a half. Like
she did.
She just left recently.
Long trip.
Okay, cool. Anything that will keep him occupied for a full 10 minutes.
Exactly.
I'm fully
I love it. Okay, so back on topic. So what about like home goods and things like that? Do you see people doing more to decorate their house now, or?
I think that like furniture is actually really popular now. And like I said, contributing to a group gift, I think furniture especially. So like bar carts are really popular also. What else? Besides furniture, I also think like frame bridge. So we see a lot of people registering for frame bridge. It's one of the things that I wish I had registered for because it's like you have all these amazing photographs, right? And then you don't know what to do with them afterwards. So frame bridge and also artwork.
Yeah.
I definitely do artwork. I also recently just bought 2 rugs on Zola.
Cool.
So they're amazing and life-changing.
That's
I love
awesome.
it. I love it. So what was the number one thing that you registered for when you got married?
Okay.
And what do you wish that you had registered for now?
Well, I wish I had registered for, more frames and things like that. And also a photo book, I think I wish I had registered for. I know that often you can get them from your photographer, but so I got one from my photographer, but then I wish I had been able to register for one for my mother-in-law and one for my mother. I think that would have been a really nice gift. My favorite registry gift was I actually registered for these Kate Spade fine china dishes that had like gold leaves around them, and they match. They're very close to the china that my grandmother had.
Oh, wow.
So, true story. Have I ever used the china? Not yet. I was going to use it at Thanksgiving, which turned into a Zoom Thanksgiving.
Right.
But I'm very grateful to have something that like I can have like something new and something older.
That's really
awesome.
cool.
I will say that's the thing for us personally that I'm so glad that we did register for, because at the time, in typical, groom to be fashion, it's like, well, we don't need this. We were living in New York at the time too, so we really didn't have the space. But I'm so glad we did, because we host Thanksgiving every year and other events too, and it's like, I don't know, it's something it's nice.
Yeah. This year was like a small just us, and I was like, I don't care, you're still getting the china down, we're still gonna use it.
Yep.
Nice. I think like you could eat pizza off fine china and that would still be special. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're gonna do that after pizza and ravioli.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm definitely coming over.
Yeah. So are there things that will forever always remain a staple, whether there's a pandemic or not a pandemic, in your minds?
I definitely think that people just like love heritage brands, and so I think that while people are also willing to experiment with brands, they still love like Le Creuset, for example. They still love Wusthof knives. And I feel like people see it as like a rite of passage in their life, like I remember as I was waiting for my husband to propose for like 3 full years.
It takes us a little bit of time sometimes.
Yeah. Like I literally was like, I am not going to buy myself like a really nice Le Creuset Dutch oven because I 100% want to register for that.
Yeah.
So I think that's a thing that people think about is like, this is something I really want to add to my gift registry if they're like, no, they're about to get engaged. So, I definitely think that's not going to go away. That said, the number one gift on our site is a KitchenAid stand mixer, and the number two gift on our site is an Airbnb gift card. So I think that people are like very, they're very like into mixing and matching and getting experiences and gifts and everything they really need.
I love it.
That's
it's
awesome.
like traditional and non-traditional like combined together in
Yeah.
those 1 and 2 spots.
Yeah.
We definitely got the KitchenAid mixer and the Wusthof knives. It's like
It's definitely
it's
right.
like you walked in our kitchen.
It's life-changing.
It kind of is. You can do everything in the KitchenAid mixer.
You can.
So before we sign off, we'd love your, top 3 tips for our listeners as far as, creating a registry in today's virtual world.
Top 3 tips. Okay. Let me think. I think one is like, make it a date night. Like, I think that registering is really one of the most fun parts of the wedding planning process, because you're just asking for the things that you really want and have been thinking about for a long time. So especially now, like we're at home, I think for me, it's often hard to like, I work at my dining room table and then I eat at my dining room table. So I think if you're registering, especially right now, like put it on your calendar, open wine, make some ravioli, fry some meat, and like sit together and register. I also think we talked about price points. So just like, I think definitely like keep in mind that it's okay to add gifts at a high price point, but it's also okay to add like a lot of gifts that are $50. People want to like bundle gifts together and kind of like send you their own like gift basket, A third tip is I would just say like register for what you want. Honestly, like that's, I remember feeling a lot of pressure from other people who were like, you must get 2 sets of plates, or like, oh my God, I cannot believe that you did not register for like these champagne coupes or whatever it is. Yep. And I was like, I don't want a champagne coupe. I'm not going to use a champagne coupe. I live in a very small New York City apartment, so I don't have room for that. So I definitely just think like, it's your gift registry. It's not someone else's gift registry, and that your guests will truly be happy to give you what you really need.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's such good advice. You're going to be the one trying to store all those coops.
Right.
Exactly. I did register for those coops, and they're at my mother-in-law's, so I'm sorry to give them to me.
Coffee out of
I
them.
don't know when to use them.
I love it. Well, Emily, thank you so much for joining us today. Tell our listeners where they can find you guys after they sign off here.
Yeah, so they can go to Zola.com, so just www.zola.com, and we have everything that you need to plan your wedding, and we hope to find you there. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.